PositivePower21.org. I'm your host, Jerry Lewis, and today on the show we have Sara. She's from San Francisco. She's going to tell us a little bit about her secret, about her positive energy, and where she get her positivity from. Because everybody has their own method how they cope with today's issues. And hi, Sara. Welcome to the show.
Hi. Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Great, great. I'm so happy to have you on the show. And Sara, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, like you already said, I'm from San Francisco, and I'm married. I have a husband and two dogs, no kids yet. And I'm passionate about this topic, so I'm excited to talk to y'all today.
All right, great, great. We really appreciate you being on the show. Now, exactly what you do for a living?
I'm a lawyer.
You're a lawyer. And are you working for a firm, a state agency, government agency?
I work for the government.
All right, very good. Now, being a woman, male-dominant field, being a lawyer, federal government, most of the time my bosses are males. Where do you find your energy to cope with what's going on today? Because, I mean, the government is pretty much a mess right now.
Well, I mean, I think the most important thing I could say about this is that, you have to believe that positive attitude is a choice. So, when I find myself in a bad situation, I know that it's up to me to find the good in it and to be positive regardless of what's happening around me. So you can't point fingers and place blame on people. I kind of just try to realize that everything happens how it happens, and it's up to me to choose, how I want to feel about it. That I'm in control of my attitude, and, no one can take that away from me.
That's right. That is true. That's true. Now we know you're a lawyer. Tell us a little bit about your education background and what it was like going through high school. Because that seems to be a problem where a lot of people are having that issue. Right in high school, you're on that fence right there in high school.
I don't really, know how to answer that. High school, it was one of those times that I just kind of motivated myself to excel. I came from a family without a lot of financial resources, and I knew that if I wanted to build a better life for myself, that I had to really be determined and, put my head to the books and work as hard as I possibly could because, my family wasn't going to be able to pay for me to go to a fancy school or anything like that. So I was going to have to, work to get a scholarship and set the road to my own success.
Very good. Very good. That's pretty much where I was going. Just pretty much want to know, what your support system was like. The friends. I mean, did your friends go down the same road? Did some of them take a curve? What were your friends like?
Well, I think that I was probably the most motivated of my friends. I come from a town that, I haven't always lived in San Francisco. So my hometown, a lot of people just stay there after school. They may or may not go to college, and they pretty much continue to live there, have their families there, and live pretty simple lives. And, that's how a lot of my high school friends, are, they still live there, and most of them didn't go to school, so I was kind of the exception to the norm.
Wow. So now, were you the leader of the group, you would say, among your friends? I mean, how many really, really close friends did you have while you were in high school?
I actually had a pretty big group of friends, probably about 20 people.
Wow.
From that group, I was probably closest with about 3 of them, but I wouldn't really say I was the leader. I guess I would just say that I had friends in a lot of different groups. Like I could be friendly with the athletes, and I could be friendly with, the nerdy people, and then I was in band, so I could be, friendly with, all of the kind of band geeks, and I just kind of had a wide circle.
Good, good, good. It's good to expand yourself like that. Now, you think music was a way for you to kind of, send some of your energy? I know a lot of people got energy. They use sports, music, reading to kind of channel that energy.
Yeah, I guess I'd say in high school, people kind of have, if they're going to go the organized activity kind of route, it's mostly, they can either choose to go down the sports road or down the music road. And I always wanted to be athletic. I just really wasn't. So I realized, I had some talent when it came to music. So yeah, that's where I focus my energy.
And your music instrument of choice?
I played the cello.
The cello. Wow. All right. All right. Now, after high school, you made up your mind to go to college. What was college like for you?
College was kind of an interesting time for me. I went to a small school that didn't have sororities or fraternities, so there wasn't a lot going on campus. Pretty much the only thing you could do was go to parties on campus. So my first 2 years, I completely stayed away from that scene and just worked really hard, took a ton of extra credit hours and everything. And that kind of put me in the position that by my junior year, I was ahead in terms of what I needed to graduate. So then I was able to relax a little bit and enjoy social life on campus a little more.
Good, good, good. All right. So now, okay, you got out of school now. Now, did you do your studies for law at the same school, or you went to a different school?
I went to a different school.
Okay. Was that a smaller school also?
No, it's a pretty big school. Not a big law school, but it was part of a school that had other programs, and that was quite a transition because it was actually in the same town as where I went to college, and so it was in a different area of town, completely different environment, and um, yeah, and law school is just a stressful process. So, I think that it leaves very little time for, socializing.
I bet it did. Wow. Now let's go back a little bit. Back now, when you were going to school, I mean, were you always thinking about being a lawyer, or was it something else you wanted to do, and then somebody kind of steered you in that direction?
Well, I think I knew. I guess you could say I was steered by my dad because he was a college professor. He taught political science, and
Wow.
he always let me sit in on his classes and stuff when I was younger and let me help him grade multiple choice exams and stuff like that. And so I had an interest in politics from an early age, and he told me when he majored in political science that he had the choice of either, going on to become a professor or, a consultant or something like that, or you could go to law school. And so, I just kind of educated myself about what being an attorney was at an early age. And when I was in
Mhm.
college, I interned at a law firm and liked it. So it kind of, gave me the extra push to go ahead and apply to law school.
All right, good. So after law school, did you go straight into the federal government, or did you have an opportunity to work for a small law firm or a large law firm?
I actually had an offer from a small firm, but due to some family circumstances, I declined the offer. And then, as a result, ended up with the government. So.
All right, very good, very good. Now you were selected to one of the largest leadership development programs that's pretty much known in the federal government. What was that feeling like?
Really unbelievable. I mean, you always like to think that you have the potential to do something like that, but you recognize that your odds are, really small to get accepted into something. So, it's an honor, and it's, it's something I'm thankful for every day.
All right, very good, very good. Yeah, what I've heard, it is quite a program. They picked, I guess, the cream of the crop. Now, out of all the applicants, I mean, now we're going to get a little bit into the positive part about the positive energy, the positive thinking. What were you thinking? I mean, did you forget about it? You just didn't want to stress over it? I mean, what was the thinking process like during this time?
When I was waiting to find out whether I'd gotten it,
Yes.
um, you know, I think that you're a part of the process too. So, we all applied for it, and a lot of us went through interviews, and then after the interview process, the funding was cut, which can, often happen with different government programs. And to be honest with you, once the funding was cut, I just kind of assumed that given the budgetary climate that the program was never going to be restarted, and I really did just kind of put it out of my mind and tried not to stress about it. And
Yes,
it was
yes.
several months before they brought the funding back, and it came as a shock to me when they did. So yeah, it really, in this particular case, it did work to just put it out of my mind.
Yes, absolutely. Now, it was a pretty intense process. The beginning part it was an application. Like you really had to really dive in with your writing. Now, you're a good writer. Can you tell us
Yeah,
your story?
I think that I am. That's one of those things that you kind of, if you're not a good writer, law school teaches you how to be, because um, every exam in law school is, at least where I went was, essay format, and you take intensive writing classes and everything like that. So I do, I think that's a skill that I honed then.
Good, good. Now, you speak very well also, and it's one of the things a lot of us outside of the law program, we always felt that lawyers had, well, students of law had the benefit of both worlds, learning how to communicate orally and in writing, which to me is one of the most important things when you're looking at getting a corporate community, corporations, and federal government. I mean, it seems like you guys have your pickings. It seems like some of the things come a little natural to you guys. Do you think the law programs, really, really prepare you for these type of these occupations?
Um, well, I guess, in talking about oral communication, I would say that, yeah, I actually used to hate speaking in public and everything like that. And it was actually like one of my greatest fears. And so I told myself by the time, I was getting ready to graduate from college that I had to, I forced myself to overcome the fear, because I knew I was about to go to law school, and you have to speak a ton publicly in law school. So I forced myself to take a public speaking class, and it turned out I actually had some natural ability there, but I could just never get past the initial, fear. So it was really good that force myself out of my comfort zone, and realize that I could do this and that it wasn't as scary as it seemed. So.
Yes, and you're very good at what you do. Very good at what you do. Well, Sarah, I really appreciate your time. I think my audience got a lot out of this interview. I know I did. Anybody's out there aspiring to be a lawyer or just want to be more well-rounded, a program like law school would probably be excellent to prepare anybody for any part of whether it's federal government or corporate America. Would you agree?
I would.
All right, very good. Well, this is Joey Royce. Sarah was my guest, and you were positivepower21.org. Thank you for tuning in, and please stand by for more exciting guests. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.